Hello and welcome to the Angus Report, a news program geared toward cattle producers. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Paige Wallace. From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including a new vaccine for foot and mouth disease.
We discuss advancements in Washington that affect manure regulations.
We take a look at understanding grid marketing. It's not as complicated as you might think.
And new sale guidelines and a look at video auction markets.
This is the Angus Report.
Our top story for the week, the Department of Homeland Security has announced scientists at its Plum Island Animal Disease Center have produced a molecular vaccine that guards against a strain of foot and mouth disease, an economically devastating disease. Scientists say it can be used to differentiate an infected from an inoculated animal using common diagnostic tests, which is difficult with previous vaccines. The Department of Homeland Security called the new vaccine the biggest news in FMD research in the last 50 years. This is the first licensed FMD vaccine that can be manufactured on the U.S. mainland and supports a vaccinate to live strategy in FMD outbreak response. Researchers say the new vaccine took 7 years to develop.
Congressmen are deliberating on legislation that would prevent the Environmental Protection Agency from regulating manure under the same standards as toxic waste. If passed, the Superfund Common Sense Act, introduced by Missouri Congressman Billy Long, would restore the original intent of the Superfund law, passed in 1980, to prevent toxic waste from polluting U.S. waters and not the overregulation of agricultural operations.
H.R. 2997, introduced by Representative Billy Long from Missouri, actually exempts manure from the Superfund laws or the hazardous waste laws that our country has in place for toxic waste. It's been inappropriately used against livestock producers in the past in some litigation. These laws were never intended to regulate livestock producers or manure, and that it is not a hazardous waste under the Superfund laws. The bill also has a counterpart in the Senate, S 1729, which we are hopeful that we can see some movement before Congress goes out of session this year.
Summertime grilling season is prime time for beef demand. Despite high prices and a declining overall beef supply, demand for quality Angus beef continues on grills throughout the country.
As beef prices in general have had to go up because of the supply situation, it's created an opportunity for our brand to really set itself even further apart. If you're going to have to pay a little bit more for beef, you certainly want a desirable eating experience. One of the things that we've seen is certainly the middle meats are under absolute pressure on the price side, all-time record highs for some of the cuts. And yet those numbers have held up reasonably well. We've been amazed. The other thing that we're seeing is that there is a movement for people to be a little more adventuresome and try some of those unique underutilized cuts. And then the other one is the incredible growth that we continue to see in the grinds category. As the consumer and the restaurant consumer continue to go out and experience our brand, it drives them back to it. And so we're very confident it's going to be a good year.
Angus breeders are reaping the rewards of good record keeping with the American Angus Association's MaternalPlus program. Breeders are seeing some incentives for the inventory-based system that offers expanding opportunities for the growth of reproductive measures and lifetime productivity selection tools.
Longevity and fertility of the cow herd is a key component. The more cows you can get up in that 7, 8, 9 years of age are the ones that are really going to make you the most money. And so using MaternalPlus will really help me focusing on those type of cows.
You know, it gives us a chance to give the association feedback from a production standpoint as far as fertility, and then at the same time gives you the ability to register your bulls, or to get data back on your bulls before you register them.
You know, being able to get reports on animals for bull sales or looking through cow herd, trying to figure out the cow's cull, possibly due to age or poor EPDs, whatever you may have. So those are the tools I'm going to really work with.
Hundreds of Angus youth and their families traveled to the 2012 National Junior Angus Show earlier this month in Louisville, Kentucky. More than 700 Angus juniors participated in the show ring and other life skills competitions. Visit angus.org for NJAS results and news, and tune in next week for our complete coverage of the National Junior Angus Show.